it's Rogue, and this is a tutorial for anyone who wants to approach playing Killer. This is the most beginner tutorial you'll ever see, and this is made specifically for those things that I wanted to know about before I started playing Killer, and I had absolutely no idea how they would work. I had no idea what I had to do, where I have to go, what the survivors would sound like, what were scratch marks, how far could be a survivor before I hit them with my basic attack, and a lot of other things. And this is all you'll find in this guide, plus a gameplay that will show you how I think when I approach a match. Now, I am not a player with thousands and thousands of hours, so I think this is a mindset you can adopt even if you never played Killer before. You can enter a match with these things in mind and just know where to go and what to do, and of course become better over time. So what you will find in this guide is going to be extremely basic. It's going to show you basic game mechanics, like what windows and pallets do to slow down the killer, how the survivors can use them and how you can use them, how to see if a survivor is around you by their noises or by flying crows, how to track injured and uninjured survivors, how long can you carry the survivor to the hook before they wiggle free, what is the distance where you can hit the survivor with your M1 or a lunge, and what those things are. And just the most basic things you could hope to see in a guide. This is literally the guide I would have liked to stumble upon before playing Killer, because I still remember one game where I was playing Huntress. I only had the basic killers, of course. I didn't know if I wanted to be invested in these games. And I would go to generators, and the generators had progress, but I couldn't find anyone, and I had no idea where they could have been. And, at some point I was just near an exit gates being like, okay, they must become here at some point. So I hope this guide is useful to you, and, just let me know if it helped you in any way. I hope so. Bye! Okay, so you can find the survivor in many different ways. Uh, one of these is audio related. It's probably the hardest, and it's hearing their breath while they are in stealth, while they are not moving. It's hard to hear over your own sounds, but it's definitely there. Here, listen. You can hear both the footsteps and the breathing of the survivors here. This can be, during the gameplay, can be actually hard to track down, because we're talking about very faint sounds, and as you can see for Trapper that has a very loud breathing, it can be muffled by his own sounds. But these cues actually exist. A much easier way to find survivors is to follow their scratch marks. Many beginners have problems with following scratch marks because they fade out of time, as you can say, over 10 seconds. And they can also spread over walls and trees and other items in the path of the survivor. But this is actually very good because it allows you, if just in case you lose the survivor while they're running, to actually see the direction they went in, because the scratch marks are gonna be around objects. You can be like, okay, scratch marks are here, scratch marks are on this tree, the survivor must have gone through them, and they must be forward. As you can see, the scratch marks here are fading, but as the survivor keeps running, they create new ones. So even if the scratch marks are not super fresh, remember that the survivor, if you can see them, cannot be having a head start of more than like 8 or 9 seconds. So even if they're faint, like here, if you go in the right direction, you will actually be able to follow them because you move faster than the survivor. And here they are. If you're coming from a distance, you can notice survivor being there by seeing them, of course, as in this case, or you can see crows moving up. A crow moving up is gonna look like a gold ball, basically, going into the sky. And there is a perk that can help you tracking the crows. It's called Spies from the Shadow, but you can also visually see it. You can also visually see the crows running up. Yeah, okay. See, that crow, you can physically see. You're very close here, but you can even see them from a distance. Another gold crow there. see, this is something you see from a distance. You can see it across the map actually. You don't need to have the survivor in your screen to see the crows flying. They will get covered though by items in the environment, so like trees and long walls and whatever. This can actually mask the crows flying, but if you see them returning, it means that the survivor were here not too long ago, but they have now left. Look at all the golden marks from the crows flying away and coming back. So this is very important. It's hard to notice, of course, especially at the beginning, but gold is a color that you will not actually see much in the realms. So it is really gonna pop once you know where to look. Another important thing to know is the wiggle mechanic. Once you pick up a survivor from the ground, from the state of slug, they can wiggle free. They can move by hitting skill checks, and if you carry them for too long, this is gonna make them get free from your grasp and go somewhere. You need to hook them very soon. Hooks can be seen through walls, as marked in red with an aura, but you're not gonna see the closest hooks, which can also lead to beginners actually not finding them and the survivor wiggling free. Because the hook was right here, but as you could see, even if I watched through a wall, the aura was not shown. Remember that if the closest hook that you can see is quite far away, there probably is another one that is actually closer. You can also leave the survivor on the ground, slugged, as we've seen before. There is a timer for that. The survivor is gonna die from being slugged on the ground in 4 minutes. That is though a very long time that I don't recommend using, because the survivor can be picked up indefinitely until they bleed out, and the way to actually kill a survivor is hooking them 3 times. So if you can, always hook. There are some exceptions. One of the exceptions to wanting to hook a survivor immediately is if they go down on a pallet. Because if a survivor goes down on a pallet and you pick them up and another survivor is around, they can drop the pallet on your head and actually save their friend. And you get nothing. Like, yeah, you get a pallet, to be fair, which is not bad. But you don't get the survivor that you have worked so hard to actually down. So, you know, if you think that someone may be around because you've seen scratch marks, because you've heard something, just wait for a second, fake the pickup, and go for the other survivor. If the survivors perform a rushed action, like vaulting a window, sabotaging a hook, vaulting a pallet, you're gonna hear this sound. This sound means that something is happening there, and you can always go and check. It's the same sound that you will receive if a survivor misses a skill check on a generator, and it's always a good idea to, you know, just go and take a look. If they're close. If this is gonna distract you from whatever you were doing already, like chasing a survivor or, you know, patrolling a generator or whatever, then just don't go and stay where you are, because it could also be a way to actually distract you from what you're doing. Pallets and window are tools that survivor can use to slow you down in chase. A survivor can slow vault, medium vault, or fast vault a window. A slow vault is obtained by vaulting the window without pressing the shift button. It can be done in chase, not in chase, and basically indefinitely, because it's a vault from not running. A medium vault is obtained by rush vaulting a window, but from a wrong angle. It's still quite fast, but it's not as fast as it could be. While a fast vault is performed by vaulting a window from the correct angle and actually jumping through it very athletically. You can only vault windows in one way, which is this way. You don't have fast, medium, or, you know, whatever, any other type of vaults. This is your vault speed, except for any perks you may bring. So you vault much slower than a survivor, and the survivor vaulting a window, if you're after them, can slow you down in chase. Chasing at Zarina. Zarina vaults the window. And look at how much distance she has before I can actually be on her. But survivors also have pallets. Pallets are a tool that has basically a double use against a killer. It can use to stun them during a chase, which is gonna save you from some seconds. As you can see, you go through a stunning animation where you are locked and the survivor makes distance. Or they can pre-drop it without chasing the stun, just for you to have to stop and break it. This is also an animation that locks you in. After this, you can keep going after the survivor as they keep using the map to gain resources, as they keep using the map and its resources to slow you down. They will have to drop pallets, they will have to build windows, and you will have to keep following the scratch marks as you try to get them. You can catch a survivor by using your basic attack in two ways, the M1 and the lunge. These are the same kind of attack done with your weapon, your basic weapon, but one of these is done by quickly pressing your mouse 1 or your attack button. This is why it's called M1, it's this. And the other is done by keeping it pressed until the weapon attacks by itself, basically. So you keep holding your attack button, and the lunge is a little bit longer. Now, let's see the difference. The basic attack gets the survivor, like you need to be really close to him. The M1 needs you to be extremely close to the survivor, like this. While the lunge you can use, for example, to get a survivor vaulting through a window where you are sure they're gonna be locked in a certain position, and you can actually catch them even if they're a little bit more far away. As you can see, that Zarina here vaults the window because they were already locked in the animation, but by me lunging, even if they've reached the other side, they just go down. And this can actually make the difference between getting someone at a window and not getting them. Now, survivors in the healthy state are very quiet. We have seen that they, of course, they have a breathing sound, they have footsteps, but that's it. We can hear footsteps, by the way. But an injured survivor, except from perks that they may bring, is actually kind of noisy. We can hear that someone injured is here just because of the noise they make. A survivor, even if injured, can go in a locker to muffle their sounds. And this is how it's gonna sound if you go near it. Now ignore the pools of blood that are gonna be there. If you go around the locker, you can still hear it. Now the chase music has stopped, so of course the sound is much quieter, but you can still hear them. You can still know that someone is around here. You can grab survivors from lockers if they're hiding there, if you're sure they're hiding there, but I would not recommend to just indiscriminately opening lockers without any cue of the survivor actually being there, because it's a time-consuming animation. But if the survivor is in a locker, you're 100% sure, because you can hear them and nothing is around. You can just open the locker and grab them. And as I told you, you just hook immediately. Now, here we can see the hook because it's transparent. But if the locker was here, this hook wouldn't be highlighted. Still look around. If you want, just bring colorful charms so that you can see the hooks much easier. Now, hook states take 60 seconds. There are 2 hook states that a survivor can have. Each of them lasts 60 seconds, and after the 3rd time you hook them, they are dead. They can be saved before reaching 2nd stage by their teammates, or, which is not recommended, they can try to unhook themselves if they are on 1st stage, with a cumulative 4% chance to actually making it and actually unhooking themselves. But hopefully this is something you should not see much in your games, because it's not very convenient for the survivors. It's not the best. If an injured survivor runs away or walks away, they're gonna leave pools of blood behind them that add to their scratch marks. And you can keep following the scratch marks and the pool of blood to find them. Now, the scratch marks can be pretty old, they last 10 seconds, but the blood pools take a lot less time to actually fade. So if you see pools of blood, it means the survivor is really, really, really close. And also the direction where the pools of blood spawn is the right direction to follow the scratch marks. Now, on some maps it could be very hard to find both scratch marks and pools of blood, especially the green pantry maps. And if you're struggling with it, I recommend Bloodhound, which is a free perk from the raid that actually highlights the pool of blood like fluo, so you can get an idea of how they are. Also, if you're close to the survivor, you can hear them, as we can hear them here. The cheese music will muffle it, but if a cheese music is going on, it means that you're very close to the survivor, and you can actually keep chasing them and download them and bring them to a hook. This that you see here is a totem. A totem is a part of the RNG of the map, of the random generated tiles. There can spawn 5 totems every map, and the totems can be dull, like this. It's a totem where nothing has happened. It's just there. It's a part of the decoration, like the boxes or this blocked window or whatever. If a totem is glowing blue, it's a boon totem. The survivor brought it, and it brings perks that are beneficial to the survivors. You will hear a thunder sound if a survivor blesses a totem. You can also bring hex totems that are beneficial for the killer. Hex totems are highlighted in red, and the survivors can actually permanently remove them from the game by cleansing them. An action that takes them some time, so they have to spend time actually cleansing the totem, which is something that you can also do with the dull totem, by the way, as demonstrated here. This breaks the totem, and the totem cannot be used anymore by either killer or survivor. Killers, on the other side, cannot break totems unless they bring a specific perk that is called Shadow Rope, and they will instead snuff the boon that the survivors brought, deleting it from the game with an action that is only 1 second, I think, long, but the survivor can reboon the same totem and get the same perks that they were bringing again and again. So if you really hate it, just bring Shadow Rope. This is the locker animation, like the time you waste if you open a locker where no one is in. As you can see, the animation is not short. I know that it doesn't seem particularly long, but just randomly opening a locker is never a good idea. If you have a hint, because you heard something, then it's time well spent. But otherwise, just randomly checking lockers is not a good idea, and it's not gonna save you much time. It's gonna make you lose time. This is the animation of a survivor slow vaulting into a locker. Now let's hear how it is when someone fast vaults into a locker. It's much louder, can be heard from much far away, but remember that even very feeble sounds can actually be heard. Even someone just slow vaulting into the locker is something you can hear from a distance, actually. See? And there was also a loud notification of something else over on top of that, but we're not too close to the locker, but still we heard it. So in that case, it can be time well spent to actually take a look and be like, okay, maybe someone is here. As you spawn into the map, the camera pans around you, and you can see some generator shapes outlined in red. Generators are the objective the survivors need to complete in order to get out of the map. There are gonna be 7 generators around the map, and the survivors only need to complete 5 of them to actually escape. So what you want to do to find survivors is going around generators and see which ones are being put on. In this case, it's kind of easy for us because we can hear someone missing a skill check. This is the sound of a survivor missing a skill check. We find the survivor, we run after them, and we take a hit. As we take a hit, the survivor gets a speed boost, and we have to clean our weapon, which locks our attack animation and allows them to get some distance. Keep following them because we want to get another hit that is gonna down them. And here we get it! We can launch through the window as I showed you in the introduction, and we can also hear a generator here being worked on. We catch the survivor, and we can see that the basement is here. Those little hooks that are a little bit different from the ones we see outside are the basement hooks. The basement hooks do not get removed from the game as a survivor dies on them, and as you can see, like, this shape is kind of a little bit harder for survivors to enter and get out of it. This generator has been worked on. We can see this, and we can also hear it by the sound it makes. Only 2 of the pistons are moving, which means it is about halfway done and no damage. As we see the sparkles going on it, it means that it is regressing and no survivor has been working on it. So, take a look, and we hear our survivor being unhooked and we see scratch marks. So what do we do now? We want to pressure the person that got them. Are they still in the basement? Well, we receive a loud notification here, the survivors are all still here. There's been happening something weird, you know? We keep chasing them. We hear a notification. Do we want to go after the survivor? No, of course. We hear a notification, someone is in a locker, they messed up, and the survivor that has been unhooked has a base kit, borrow time, that is going to make our next hit ineffective for 10 seconds. So if you're not sure, just, you know, get another survivor and we're against this generator. And it's not easy to do, I know, but we can use this main building as a landmark. The generator inside has been worked on, and also that one that was closed. Is someone still working on it? Not really. We can go around and check other generators. We don't go immediately back to Hook, they're having a rough start, you know. We see scratch marks here. There is a survivor. Where are they? Oh, there they are. We launch through the window. Always remember to launch through the window. And this is how we get them. We also hear another generator being worked on. We pick up the survivor. Where is the nearest hook? It's here. Remember to always look around because only part of the hooks may be shown to you. So, you know, I saw this because the red part was sticking between these boxes. This generator is being worked on. Was this survivor working on it? Was another survivor working on it? We can take a look around. I don't see anything suspicious, but this locker maybe. Okay. They need to come here and save him now. And they are missing skill checks. So, oh, there is another survivor here. Let's chase them. Oh, this survivor is not dropped the pallet. Good. You can see scratch marks being far away, but I can hear him. Are you still here? No, we got a little bit lost. We can see more scratch marks. We can see a loud notification. Oh. The survivor is actually here. They dropped the pallet, they brought it back to the bus, panicking. We get the survivor, you know, we hook them. Where is the nearest hook? It's right here. My charms are helping, so just bright charms, I guess. And now we keep patrolling the generators. We do not know where the other survivors are, but we hear something being worked on here. Oh, and there are scratch marks. The generator was not very progressed, so we do not particularly care about kicking it. But we keep going around this survivor, try to find them, to reach them. Oh, they drop a pallet on red. It's fine. We just break it and we keep chasing. No, another pallet. Well, it's fine. When you start playing, you don't really know how the tiles are, you don't really know how to run them. It's completely fine. Survivor is camping the pallet. Okay? We keep going around them. Are they gonna drop this too? Okay, fine. Some chases are just longer than others. We can decide to leave the survivor and keep patrolling our generator, but I'm gonna explain the rationale of, you know, why and how I do it another time. Oh, they're working on this generator. I finally get a hint. The other survivor ran away now. If you can avoid vaulting a window and you have an easier way to go around an object, I would advise you to do that. And we keep chasing the survivor, and we finally found him. Where is the nearest soap? Okay. Say I don't see any hook around. Oh my god, they're rushing each other. Okay, there is a hook here, actually. With a generator nearby that I can check if I go away. I mean, there's no one here. I can keep patrolling my gens. Now, usually when you spawn... Oh, this gen has been touched. Okay. Usually when you spawn on a map, the survivors are most likely gonna be on the farthest away gen from you. But I always suggest... Oh my god, someone is... I always suggest you actually take a look around and see if on your way to the farthest away generator there is someone else, because it's actually possible. We kick this because, you know, we don't want survivors to finish this gen, but we cannot see anyone. There are no scratch marks, there's nothing. Where are they? Are they doing this other gen here? Someone has unlocked this arena. Survivors are hiding in a corner. We don't know which corner though. Are they around shack? Especially when you begin, you will have to do a little bit of, you know, searching work. But we knew that that generator had a lot of progress, and we also see that someone has missed a skill check, and this sound is a boom. So, where is the person that has missed a skill check? Okay, now we can lose some time. The other generators that are nearby are nothing super work done. Where are you? Understand my frustration. Are you in the locker? Bro, what am I saying? Someone is around. We don't. Oh, here it is. Here is the survivor that was hiding. You know, in the beginning, it's pretty normal to have some trouble finding the survivors, so don't worry. Just go around, look for them, and down them, I guess. We can hear him. You can hear his footsteps. This is a bot. Like, I know this is a bot. I've actually played against people like this. Okay. A survivor wants to take chase, but I don't think I'm gonna fuck with guys, you know? Yeah. This is like the average survivor that wants to chase. You can choose if you want to chase them or not, to be fair. There is a boon here where survivors heal, you can snuff it. And this generator is very progressed. And we get a grab! I mean, not bad, right? Just go where you see generators being worked on and see what you can do. Someone has found the Jonah. Oh, the survivor is here again. They hid in a locker last second. You can grab them. And we need to find another hook. The closest one is probably that one, because this one is already occupied. So where is gonna be our Jonah friend? We know that, you know, we already hooked twice, and so Zareen. So if we wanna get a kill, we need to find them. Someone has unlocked the mag, which means it's gotta be either Jonah or Zarina, because she could not unlock herself. And, you know, are they maybe healing under? Oh my! Let's go get them. We wanna get our kills, so you know, we go about there. Which is that? Go around here. She's trying to get us away from the generators, which is what a good survivor would do. Getting you away from a generator, so that even if they die, their friends have time to complete the gens. This is a launch that they made. This would have not hit with enough. There is a hook here. A survivor tries to take a hit towards the arena because she's that hook. And if you have not gone too far with your survivor on your shoulders, you can just get them and hit them. But if you have already walked a lot, it's a good idea to drop them without. Got a second survivor. We just get them. This was very lucky because, you know, they just run in a straight line after taking the hook. Do not go through the pallet if you can avoid it because someone could be there for the pallet save. But now it's endgame. Where do we go? Where are the survivors going to be? Well, the gates. There are 2 gates in every map. This is the first one they made, and I guess it's the Jonah that opened it, yes. But where is gonna be the Mac? Well, there is only one other place, and it's the other gate. Is she gonna be there? We take a huge 50-50 here, and we hope she's there, and that we can get her before she leaves. And we actually can! But we only managed to get a hit on her before she leaves. In endgame, you have no reason to go anywhere that is not the exit gates, unless you know the survivors have a boon, and you think they're healing there, which can be a bet, you know, can be gambling a little instead of patrolling the gates, but it can still be very good to actually find survivor already injured and down them. I hope this short tutorial is gonna show you what a game flow is normally when you begin the game, what the survivors are gonna do. Yes, they're gonna miss out the skill checks, they're gonna heal in impossible plays, they're gonna not get the good pallets and whatever. I asked my friends to do this on purpose. I swear they're not that bad. Also, bro with the brain new part, okay. And that's it. That's the end of this tutorial. Hope that helped. Bye.